Roman 3 describe a simple chemical test that can be used to distinguish between carbon 4 oxide and carbon 2 oxide. Remember, there is a special reagent that's supposed to be used so that we can be in a position to identify the gas that has been bubbled. Is it carbon 4 oxide or carbon 2 oxide? When you come to matters of distinguish between this gas, carbon 4 and carbon 2, the reagent that will be used is calcium hydroxide. And I will say the reason why calcium hydroxide is used. We have the likes of potassium hydroxide, sodium hydroxide, but you cannot use potassium hydroxide or sodium hydroxide when you want to distinguish carbon 4 oxide and carbon 2 oxide. When you bubble carbon 4 oxide in calcium hydroxide, a white precipitate will be seen. You know, a white precipitate is something that you can see with your eyes. It is something that you can see. When it turns to white precipitate, you know the gas is carbon 4 oxide. But remember, when you bubble carbon 2 oxide, nothing will happen. The solutions will remain colorless. It will not be in a position to know that the gas is carbon 2 or it is carbon 2 oxide that has been bubbled, because the solution will remain colorless. What about in case if you use potassium hydroxide? When you use potassium hydroxide in place of calcium hydroxide, we will not be able now to distinguish carbon 4 oxide. Remember, when you bubble carbon 4 oxide under the presence of potassium hydroxide, it will still remain the colorless. So will not be in a position to know whether also carbon 2. You bubble carbon 2 in potassium hydroxide, nothing will happen. The solution remain colorless. So meaning potassium hydroxide will remain colorless gases. But calcium hydroxide, if you bubble it through calcium hydroxide, it changes to white precipitate, that is calcium carbonate. It is something that you can see. I think you have understood about that point. Roman 4, give one use of carbon 2 oxide. Sometimes you can be told state the industrial use of carbon 2 oxide. Something industrial is it is something that the use that is used maybe for commercial purposes. For example, the use of carbon 2 oxide can be used in extraction of metals. These are topics that we'll handle in Form 4 under the topic of metal, because carbon 2 there is used as a reducing agent in extraction of the metals, which are more reactive, which are less reactive, because the most reactive element we normally use electrolysis.